A year into this pandemic, and children around the country have experienced a variety of educational experiences, from online classes to in-person learning to a hybrid of both. Danko is the board chair of the Hamilton-Wentworth School Board, and Harvey Bischof is the president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation. Harvey, let's start with you. How are your members feeling about the government's handling of the pandemic?
Troubled in a lot of ways. They're troubled by last-minute announcements, troubled by a failure to recognize the extraordinary extra work they've had to put in order to try to do best for their students during a very difficult time. Troubled by the fact that the government seems to have put some sort of fiscal imperatives ahead of the safety of themselves, their students, the families they all go home to, and that's probably on top of that, the fact that the government simply refuses to collaborate, consult with their voice through OSSTF.
There is also much talk about lasting impact the disruption of schooling will have on Ontario students as well as teachers. Dawn, what are teachers saying in your district?
Certainly what I'm hearing from teachers is that we've been doing our absolute best, and educators have been doing their absolute best to meet the needs of students going through really tumultuous times. We're in an unprecedented year. This is the most serious health crisis in a century. And we've had so many transitions for our staff and for our students. And so teachers have been trying to navigate how do they best support the learners in their classrooms, knowing that we've got some gaps coming out of the spring when students weren't in regular classes, and we did our best through a modified remote learning, but also then these transitions, reorganizations that have happened in the fall, the shift to remote learning in January, that's all been a significant challenge, because when we look at our learner, it's a holistic person, and it's about their well-being and their learning experience.
Yeah, and I mean, it's affecting in so many areas. We're not even talking about parents as well and how it's impacting them. Harvey, how are teachers feeling? Are they feeling safe? Are students feeling safe? There have been 2 outbreaks and 30-odd COVID-19 cases in the first few weeks of a reopening of school in February, just in Hamilton alone. How are teachers feeling about this?
Absolutely not feeling safe. I mean, I hear regularly about or from deeply worried educators. They know that they are in circumstances that wouldn't be allowed in any other public space in the province. They know that they are sometimes in classrooms of 30 or 35 students where there's simply absolutely no room for physical distancing. They know the government has absolutely failed to put in place a ventilation standard to determine whether or not the air quality in their rooms is safe. They've seen this, I have to call it, pathetic rollout of the asymptomatic testing program, which hardly deserves the name of program because there doesn't seem to be any direction from the ministry. So with all of those things, they absolutely are not feeling safe.
So if both of you were to give a grade to the Ontario government, because both of you are in Ontario, what would it be when it comes to education? Dawn, first, what grade would you give them?
Well, if I was an educator, I would give them a grade probably in the fall, and that would have been a D or even an F because we had some significant challenges. I would say that they are learning. We're starting to see some improvements in communication, starting to see some willingness to collaborate. So I think they might be moving up towards a C-, but they still have room to improve.
And Harvey, I have seconds left. What's your grade?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was known as a harder marker when I was in the classroom, and I would remain so. I don't see that they achieve a passing grade whatsoever.
All right, Danko, board chair of the Hamilton-Wentworth School Board, and Harvey Bischof, the president of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation. Thank you so much for both of your time.